The Certina Super PH1000M is a beast. Unapologetic, 70s design, a serious tool watch credentials, a depth rating most watches can only dream of. This has been my everyday, go anywhere watch. I've worn it on holiday, in the sea, through normal daily life. For over a year, this watch has been with me through everything. And here's the thing, most reviews are done after a week. When you wear a watch for a year, it starts to talk back. You grow with it. You notice the details that don't show up in spec sheets. This is my watch, my Certina Super PH1000M, and here's why it's special. I bought this as one of my first proper mechanical watches, unworn on eBay for around £600 or about $800. At the time, prices have generally crept up since then, and now they're closer to £900 or $1,200. Being a 70s and 80s kid myself, something about it clicked immediately. You'll often see comparisons to the Seiko Turtle or the Doxa Sub, and sure, there are design cues or design echoes, but this feels different. Because this isn't a random retro-inspired watch, this is a faithful modern rebirth of the DS-2 Super PH1000M from the 1970s, a watch that has actually been used in serious underwater science, including programs like Tektite II to mimic space exploration underwater for weeks at a time. Certina has used its DS or double security system since 1959. This brand isn't pretending to be tough. Toughness has always been the point. The cushion case, the bold 70s shape, the teal dial with orange accent. It honestly reminds me of the wallpaper in my childhood home, and I mean that in the best possible way. Let's talk about proportions, because the spec sheet doesn't tell the full story. On paper, this is a 43.5mm stainless steel cushion case. That sounds huge. But look at the dial. Using calipers, the dial plus bezel inset measures 38.8 at the top with a gentle outward slope. The actual dial aperture is just 26.8mm. That's tiny, and that's part of the magic. The wide cushion case and flat matte aluminum bezel frame the small dial perfectly. It gives the watch presence without making it feel cartoonishly large. The flat fluted bezel catches the light beautifully and adds real character. The dial color is fascinating too, sometimes blue, sometimes a sea green, depending on the light. The case is brushed on top with a more polished mirror-like finish on the sides, and despite the tool watch dimensions, the flat case hugs the wrist surprisingly well. I've got a 7-inch wrist, and yes, it's bold, but sometimes you want bold. This watch doesn't try to disappear, it treads its own path. It's not a suit watch, but for everyday casual wear, it sits exactly where it should. The details that you only notice after a year, this is where I think the long-term wearer really matters. The case back is vented, and this isn't a gimmick. After swimming in the sea, sand and salt actually rinses away rather than getting trapped. It's one of those details you don't fully appreciate until you use the watch exactly as it's designed to be used. The strap is a rubber FKM, it's supple, it's comfortable, and crucially not a dust magnet. I've thought about swapping it out, maybe a white, maybe an orange, but for some reason I've always come back to the original. And here's a detail most people miss. The strap keepers have a small protrusion that locks into the strap hole. That means they don't slip around. It sounds minor, but after a year, it's the difference between a strap you love and one that constantly annoys you. And honestly, the strap, whether it's rubber or metal, can make or break a watch. The inner ribbing of the texture improves the grip and breathability, and the strap keeps the watch planted on the wrist without ever feeling top heavy. These are things you only notice after months, not minutes. The specs that actually matter, let's quickly cover the specs, but only the ones that matter in real life. as I mentioned before, is 43.5 millimeters cushion case. It's stainless steel. It's got that 1,000 meters of water resistance, a true professional diver. It's got a recessed helium escape valve. It's got this safety press to turn unidirectional bezel for added safety. It's not going to be a fidget. However, you do know it's got pure function here. Powermatic 80.611 movement, so it has 80 hours of power reserve. It's got great anti-magnetic components, including the hairspring. It's got a quick set date, rarely mentioned, but always appreciated. The lume, as you can see here, I feel is good. It's got good contrast, it's got good legibility. Certina again is part of the Swatch group with a strong European and Scandinavian roots, and the brand itself dates back to 1888, so heritage. This isn't a fashion watch playing dress up. So my final thoughts. There's a saying in the watch world, if you know, you know. Certina is one of those brands, and the Super PH1000M is one of those watches. It almost feels like a grail piece, not because it's rare or expensive, but because it does exactly what it's designed to do, and it does it honestly. It's bold, a little off the beaten path, and after a year on my wrist, it's earned its place.